knowing that this is going to be my view is unreal.
I can only imagine. Plus, you get to play a game at the same time. Like, this isn't, I mean, it's a vacation, but it's also a business trip, right?
Well, I've done a lot of vacations. I'm not treating this as a vacation. This is a job. I've come here to do a job. I'm Charity. I'm 33 years old, and I am a fitness coach and a flight attendant.
I have so many questions about this. Which came first?
Flight attendant came first. I've been doing that for almost 9 years. I'm actually very close to retirement, believe it or not. That's why I'm hanging in there.
Is this like you're like a professional sports player? You're retiring at
well, just with like how many years you put in plus your age and all that. So I'm really just kind of going for the benefits there. So I did that for 5 years and then became a fitness coach. So I started sharing my weight loss journey online of just like what I was going through, and I was like absolutely inundated with questions and DMs and how did you do this and how did you do that? And so long story less long, started a business, and within 6 weeks I made double what I made as a flight attendant, and I was like, this is incredible because there's like purpose on this for me. There's passion. I enjoy it. And so that was kind of born, and yeah, I still do both.
Yeah, so then when it comes to how much you're going to reveal out here, because, you know, there is the whole Liz Wilcox self-made, like, this is how much I'm... Like,
I saw through that in a moment. I was like, she is not a millionaire. I already know.
So then what's your story? Are you going to leave into one over the other when it comes to talking to your castaways?
Well, when I say, like, I made double as a flight attendant, if you know what a flight attendant makes, it's poverty, okay?
It's poverty?
I wish you won $1 million. It's poverty. So to make double, it was like, oh, we're gonna squeak by, like we're doing okay, and I didn't have to, you know, be gone from home all the time. So there really isn't much to reveal. Where I'm like, I'm not this like gigantic following. Like I have a little following, but like I very much do it out of purpose. Not so much like, I mean, I could make a lot of money doing it, but that's not why I do it. So I do it and keep it in a place where I can be passionate. It's, there's purpose on it. I'm not like dreading it. And so I keep my clientele, you know, I always have a wait list. I keep the clientele low because I give my all in that. Can be a very emotionally draining. And so there's nothing to reveal there. I'm not like some millionaire influencer, you know, that is not what's happening here.
So you talk about having this client list. What was the story of, I'm going to be gone for a few weeks? What was the little fiction you told the people in your life about where you were going, what you were doing?
Well, it was actually really easy. Two things. One, I can blame everything on flying. Oh, I'm going to be flying for a bit. Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, you did take a flight here, technically.
Yes.
So.
And working as a flight attendant, all my clients know that I will do that part time. And so, in order to keep my flight benefits, I have to work a certain amount of time throughout the year, which is usually like 5 days a month. But sometimes I'll do it all in 6 weeks. So I kind of gave that story to some that were kind of aware of that, and then to some I just timed out where it was like, okay, we're going to take a break. And then, to be honest, for the last 5 years, I have never taken a day off fitness coaching. I have been in Thailand making, coaching videos. I have been in Maui waking up at 3 a.m. with a time difference so I can meet on a Zoom call with clients. My phone's always blowing up with messages. I'm always fixing plans. I'm always like, just keeping the business operational because it's a one woman show. It's me. So I've also given that story where I'm like, you know what, I haven't taken any time off and I'm going to be off for the summer. And we'll reconvene, and here's what I want you to do while I'm gone. And I have people that I can have check in on them. And
well, that's the work ethic of a 26-day game, right?
Yeah.
Jeff always says you got to keep hustling. It feels like that's just something that's been in your blood for the past 5 years.
My dad was a business owner, and my whole family is made up of entrepreneurs. And after building this business of really, I mean, it's scary to kind of share things online, especially such an intimate part of struggling with an eating disorder and losing 100 pounds and how I got healthy both inside and out, because it's not about weight. It's really about what's going on in here. Weight is just the reflection of what's happening on the inside. And so sharing all of that and really building a business and like starting from the ground up, like I didn't know where to start. I'd never owned or ran a business, and having gone through that experience, the confidence it's given me to go, I can do whatever I want. Anything I set my mind to, I'm going to do it. I've just always been that person. Once I make the decision, it's very rare that I make that decision, because I know if I make the decision to do something, I'm 100% all in. And that is what I've done with Survivor. I am 100% all in. You'll see me at the finish line.
Okay, well, let's talk about what got you to the starting line in the first place. What's your history with watching the show, and what made you feel like this was something that you could add to the resume, in a manner of speaking?
Yeah. So Survivor is kind of making up for lost time for me. So a decade ago, literally 10 years ago, I was in ministry school in Alabama. I was struggling with an eating disorder. At that time, I was like 100 pounds overweight, the heaviest I'd ever been, and I was skipping morning prayer because, just to be honest, it was really boring. I was skipping class and morning prayer multiple times a week to lay in bed and watch Survivor. And I know, right? My family loves that. They don't know this, but they're going to find it out.
Well, you just worshipped a different religion at the time.
Not quite, but it was an escape for me. And I started watching it, and I remember just being like, I have such an adventurous spirit. I love to travel, but I was like, this is so cool. I would love to do this. But just from deep-rooted insecurity, was like, I could never do that. I could never, hold up in those physical competitions. I don't want people to see my body. I don't even want to be in a swimsuit. Like, so self-conscious that for years of my life, I held my own self back from really incredible experiences I could have had.
Wow.
And now, making long story less long, I'm here. And it's because I put in the work. I've completely changed my life. I live in such a place of health and balance, truly inside and out. And so being on Survivor is a deep well for me. It runs deep. This is not just like, oh, cool game and maybe $1 million. I have something to prove to myself. I have worked really hard to be here. I pick up a shovel and I start digging until I hit water. And stepping onto this island in Fiji, I've hit water.
There we go. Luckily, they have the wells, so not much digging for water needed. But yes. I know, I totally get it. I mean, that being said, where and when did you pick up the shovel? Was this something you watched as a kid? Did you find it during the pandemic? How did you start watching the show?
No, I started watching it 10 years ago. And
wow.
I was just in ministry school, flat broke. I had $5 in my account, and I watched whatever was free online. And the first... and at that time, that's a decade ago, so the first 20-something seasons were all free online at that time, and I watched every season. And I was like, this is incredible. I want to do that, but I could never.
So that being said, if I could ask you to give me one winner and one non-winner, who you identify with the most, personally, strategically, who would that be and why?
Winners, I love Tony. He is my guy. He's sitting in his spy shack. I love him. I hate that I'm saying this. I can't remember if he got this nickname on the show or if it's just a nickname my husband and I gave him, but we called him Tony the Rat. He was always sneaking around.
I don't think I recall him calling him Tony the Rat.
So that's the nickname we gave him.
That sounds like the name of a New Jersey mobster.
Well, it's a little Tony
there
though.
We go.
It's a little bit, So I love Tony as a winner. As a non-winner, my favorite Survivor, and this is going old school, very niche, is Jane.
Jane from Nicaragua. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Jane is, again, I'm a nickname person. Even out here on the show, I'm I'm going to have nicknames for people. That's just how I show my love. But Jane, we always called Farm Strong because this woman was out here, bony Skeletor, beating these big bodybuilder men in strictly strength competitions. And it's because she worked on a farm. She owned a farm.
Yeah.
People who grow up in the country on a farm, they're built different. And so I just loved her. She always and she was just the kindest, the most lovely woman. I wish they would bring her back for 50. I think she's awesome.
Manifested right now.
I don't know if she'd want to.
Yeah, that's valid. What is your favorite moment in Survivor history? Does it involve Jane or Tony the Rat?
Oh yeah. I mean, iconic. Number one, I'm sitting in my spy shack. I say that to my husband all the time.
Are you building a spy insert down here?
Maybe.
Here? Okay.
Wouldn't you like to know? No.
We'll see. We'll see out there, or maybe we won't.
See.
Maybe it'll be disguised.
I definitely have some tricks up my sleeve. But yeah, I mean, Tony, iconic. That's an iconic moment. another one that I think is just like legendary, like how did this even happen, is the season where Brandon and Coach made the whole Survivor tribe into like a cult. The level of power you have to get all these people on board to be like, okay, we're going to pray before dinner. Okay, we're all going to like do this, whatever, like that. And I mean, I come from, a religious background. Like I am spiritual. I have faith, but that isn't, I would never impose that. Like, it's so wild to me that they built that and people went along with it.
Yeah.
It makes me realize, like, okay, cults are real and people will follow you. It's all about the confidence. Like,
so what would you say is one life experience that has prepared you the most for this? Because you talk about being so ready. And you've obviously gone through so many shifts in your life. Do you feel like there's one in particular that has made you the most adequately prepared for what you're about to go under?
I think it's just the journey of that deep-rooted insecurity, being 100 pounds overweight, thinking I was going to deal with that for the rest of my life. I really had no hope. And picking myself up, getting myself out of that and going, I will work until there is no ending. It's I'm going to keep working, and your health never ends, and so even just to physically be in the place of like, no, I'm a competitor here, but then to mentally be in such a place of confidence of I know who I am, I know what I've been through, I know who I'm not. I have such a settled feeling. And to be honest, like, even we're all sizing each other up and looking at each other. I'm not intimidated by anyone.
Okay.
Jersey muscles over there, big deal.
Yeah.
Not intimidating.
You got to channel that Jane energy, right?
I am coming in farm strong, even though I wasn't raised on a farm, but I will channel it.
So what would you say is your biggest superpower and your biggest piece of kryptonite when it comes to this game?
Okay, superpower, I think, and I don't want this to sound like, oh, I'm just so great, because really I'm not. I think I have a level of charisma that makes people comfortable. And that's genuine, of like, I love to bring a group together. I'm a natural born leader. Let's all rally. I will make anybody laugh. I will, even to the point where I'm embarrassing myself, very self-deprecating. I don't know. That is my personality. And I think people feel comfortable with that. On the flip side, my kryptonite, speaking my mind.
Okay.
Sometimes my tongue will get me into trouble because I am like a no BS person, like just straight to the point. I'm like, I'm from Michigan. I married someone from the South. And so like, I now realize like, oh, I'm very frank. Like, we're very to the point. Like, let's hurry it up. Who cares how your day's going? Let's go. I got places to be. Like, I don't need the whole like 20-minute backstory. Just, so I think that could get me into trouble, but I'm very aware of it. So.
Well, you talked about sizing other people up, and listen, you're not intimidated by them, but I'm sure you have thoughts about them. I'm going to start on the positive first.
You guys love this. You guys want us to size everybody up.
Oh, of course. Listen, well, here's the thing. It's either these could be your best friends or these could be your worst enemies. So on the positive side, talk to me about, best case scenario, you hit the beach day one. This is like a possible ride or die for you, or a co-pilot, if you will.
I love my fellow tall girl with curly hair. We're both tall. We both have curly hair. I just love her vibe. She's got the big blonde. Like, I have really curly brown hair. She just has this like cool kind of like hippie vibe. Love it. I feel like we could mesh together really well. Obviously, I don't know her, but you definitely pick up on cues. I also really like, he is probably one of the older gentlemen in the group. Like olive complexion, has tattoos on his forearms. That man is a deep well. He's got a lot going on. Sometimes you can just see it in someone that he's carrying something in there. But also I just feel like there's something solid about him that I really like, Other than that, I don't know. I mean, you get a first impression of everybody. There's some people that you can tell are a little bit more outgoing and want attention. And then there are people that are just like very quiet or maybe a little bit more meek and that sort of thing. So it's just going to depend. It's
interesting that you bring up that man, that deep well. Is that sort of what you're seeking in people you want to work with? Are these kind of like complex people that have had such a storied journey like you have?
I think everybody here has to have some type of story just to make it on the show. You have to be interesting. I mean, if there's no conflict, it's not that interesting. It's great for you, but not my reality.
That's when your kryptonite comes in.
Right, exactly. But there is just, I don't know. There's just something about him that I can tell is a little different, that he's holding on to something. And I don't know. You can just tell when someone has some depth. It's not all just surface. It's not all just, oh, whoa, me, I've been through this and da-da-da. Like, there's some depth there. And I can sense that. And I want to work. I mean, obviously, this is Survivor. We're going to double cross each other. We're going to lie, blah, blah, blah. But I also, in real life, I am loyal to a fault. And so that will be very hard to get rid of. So I definitely see myself finding someone that is not just like, oh, you're the person on Survivor I could connect with. But no, you're a person I actually connect with. I want to find that person out here.
So then on the other side, is there anybody that's not given that for you, or anyone you can't read in general? I'm sure you also have nicknames for these people from what you've been describing.
My journal has a nickname for everyone. I'm like, I got Jersey Muscles over there. I got like everybody. I've got Minnesota hockey player. Like, because, I'm looking at T-shirts. I'm looking where they're from. I can, so... it's not so much that it's like, oh, I don't want to play with that person, but I'm already leery. I already can see, okay, there's stuff going on here. There's one person that around us is very kind of just like, won't make eye contact, won't smile back, almost kind of like gives us aloof, bored feeling. But then I can hear like in interviews when they go in, and it's like a total change of change of energy. And I'm like, okay. So there's some play going on here, and that might be my BFF when I get out there. I don't know, but...
Yeah. So when it comes to, obviously, the new era, advantages, idols, journeys, they are rife with appearances throughout here. How much are you incorporating that into your game? Do you have, again, you talk about that Tony who made all those types of things.
Yeah.
His peasants as he became king of the jungle. Are you approaching it a similar way?
Absolutely. I'm swinging for the fences. I don't have $1 million in my bank account, so I have nothing to lose. I'm playing this game like it's the second time I'm out here, period. I will go for anything I can. I will volunteer for whatever I can. I am home run every time, swinging for the fences. Let's go all out, because if I get voted out knowing I played that way, I will be at peace.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit of a no regrets approach about it, about how you want to walk out no matter what place it's in, and hopefully it's first, but you want to walk out with very little, oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, I'm going in trusting my gut. No matter what anybody says to me, if it doesn't feel right in here, this is what I'm going with. And if I get voted out because of that, again, I will be at peace with that. It's okay. I'm not going to, but...
There you go. What's your hottest Survivor take? What's your most controversial opinion about a player, the show?
2. Number 1, us as fans, we want villains back. I want more villains. Like, I love the stories, but I love the gameplay too. And I love like, a Tony or a Russell or a Coach or a Brandon. Like, when, iconic moments, like when I forget her name, but she like dumped the rice everywhere. Like, we want a little bit of that back. I think, that's my hot take on Survivor. But like, truly, I'm probably going to get totally like slayed for this, but I think Russell was one of the best players there was, and he should have won. I would have voted for him personally.
Either season, first one, any particular one?
Every time he played.
Every single time he played. Russell, I'm voting for you.
He is the GOAT. He dominated it. So
I'm intrigued when it comes to that first perspective, because there's been so much argument as well as to like, is so-and-so a villain from the new era? Do you think there is anyone from the new era, like the last couple seasons in particular, that falls into that bucket for you?
Soft. I think
really?
Even this last season, everyone's like, "Oh, Q is a villain." I'm like, no, he's not. Like, Q's just like being himself. He like, beats himself up, makes people mad, and like, no, like, even the whole thing of like not picking Liz for the Liz was not like, she's not entitled to that. She didn't win, and Q shouldn't out of pressure have to pick her if that's not who he wants to spend the time with, especially if it's a strategic decision for him. So I'm just like, people calling like Q a villain, I'm like, no, everybody's gone soft. Like, who knows, maybe I'll come out here as a villain.
I was gonna say, how much is that gonna be intentional in your head?
I don't know if it'll be intentional, but I definitely feel like I have some rough edges that might show out here. And I'm not afraid of that, because that's just the reality of who I am.
Absolutely.
You got to have some grit out here if you want to win. You cannot just be like everybody's BFF, and I don't know, like, I miss a little bit of that where I'm like, everybody's so excited, like kind and like happy when they get voted off, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course I'm grateful for the opportunity, but I'm ticked.
Yeah.
I just got voted off. Like, this, but hopefully won't happen.
Well, while we're staying on the note of 46, I do feel like from the past couple seasons, it does feel like the new era is kind of like taking a big step.
It's ramping up, yes.
So then talk to me about what is some of your biggest takeaways from the past couple seasons in particular that you are going to bring into your own game.
It moves quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's much quicker. With these smaller tribes, it moves a lot quicker. And just being flexible. It is not just all right, me and you to the end, let's do it and go all the way. That really is not the reality here, which I would love it to be, but it's not. So it's just having to really trust your gut, being able to read people. I feel like as a flight attendant, we're trained even on nonverbal cues and just the way people make eye contact and all those things, because we're always looking for that. There's, just a lot of safety and security. And so, being able to kind of pick up on those things and know, okay, I think this person is not telling me the whole story.
If you could pick a celebrity or a fictional character to bring out as a loved one for a loved one's visit, who would you pick and why? That is also the adequate nonverbal response to that question.
I thought you were going to say, let me build, Celebrity Survivor, because I was like, I already built it. They need to do that. Wouldn't that be incredible?
I mean, what? Give me some highlights of some cast members here.
Oh, Jack Black, Snoop,
Shaq.
Those would be, my top 3. Maybe Martha Stewart. Let's put her out here. She could be interesting.
Well, Snoop and Martha would have an automatic alliance,
well,
right?
That's true. They know each other. Yeah, that might be.
Just put them on separate tribes. It's fine.
Yeah, there we go. We'll start out that way. But Celebrity Survivor would be incredible.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, if I had to pick Cesar Millan, I'd put him out there.
Cesar Millan.
He would be great.
The dog whisperer.
Yes. Oh, dude. If I'm telling you, Brad Pitt and Cesar Millan are in the airport, I'm going to get my picture with Cesar Millan. Don't care, Brad. Goodbye.
Interesting.
Cesar. It's because he is an expert on energy. What you put out, people are going to sense. You can control people with the energy you bring into the room. It really is, it's true. It works with pets and it works with people. I do it on board every day with people. You see a flight attendant that's stressed and nervous and anxious and has this energy, or calm. I've had emergency landings where I just go, okay, I've got my energy. They're watching me. I am going to control this situation with just the energy in the room. So... I'd put Cesar Millan out there for sure.
Absolutely.
But you're saying for loved ones.
For loved ones, I mean, and this could be Cesar. This is somebody that you've never met before.
It's Shaq. I'm bringing Shaq out. He's my boy, dude. I freaking love Shaq. I don't watch basketball. Don't care. I love Shaq.
Wait, are you a fan of I
am
Shazam?
a fan of Shaquille O'Neal. Shazam's wonderful. Shaq had his own little reality show. I just think he is so fun. He's finally an athlete with a personality. He's hilarious. He's very generous. I'm just all about Shaq. And I'm literally obsessed with how tall he is.
He's 7'2" or something.
Sometimes when I'm in a bad mood, I will literally just Google Shaq with normal sized objects. Sorry. And it'll be Shaq holding a water bottle, and I promise it will improve your mood.
I'm going to take you up on that. Yeah.
Do it. I'm telling you, look at Shaq holding a water bottle and you'll be like, this is insane. I feel better.
Well, last thing I want to ask is, and this is speaking to a bit of what you mentioned before from where we started this thing. We know the 50s around the corner. We know it's returning players. How are you going to make your mark on Survivor 48 that's going to have you back out here a year later?
I don't know if I want to come out. Who knows?
You want to be a one and done
no,
if you win?
No, I'm sure I want to do it again.
Yeah, once you're bit by this bug, it's very hard to find a repellent.
That's something I wish I could answer, but I'm not willing to just make up some crap that I don't know. To be honest, the game moves so quick and it's such a day-to-day decision of what you're doing. I think it's just literally lasting in the most creative and lasting way. It's I don't really know how to answer that. It's just it just depends when I get out there.
TBD. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll let you know after.